right. How would you like to improve your ability to meet the deadlines given to you by your stakeholders? Hi, my name is Tim McDermott. I am a software development project manager. I live and work in the beautiful city of Tampa Bay, Florida. Today I'm out on an island near Tampa Bay called Honeymoon Island. And it has a nice long trail on it. It has a state park on it that's one of the most beautiful state parks in the nation, as declared by the government over the state parks. And so it's a beautiful place to go hiking and a beautiful place to go and give a video blog. A video blog today is about release planning. First off, I think I need to give a definition of what a release is. I know I'm in software development, and so I've only sort of recently learned what a release actually is. So a release is anytime you take your software and you move it to a production environment, or in other words, you go live with it. So go live is a release, and you have to kind of plan your releases around your go lives, around the business and the stakeholder needs and the production support people's needs, etc. So to come up with the release plan, you have to ask your stakeholders when are the best times to do a release. Like if you're dealing with accounting people, I know in the past I have had to do accounting software, and you have to put the software in, you can't put it in at the end of the month because they got to do a month end close. You don't want to interfere with that. If you put your software in and it breaks, it could be a major disruption to the business and the accounting cycle, etc. So you have to look at things like that. You have to look at the market. I was on one project. It was a telecom company, and the iPhone was fixing to come out with a new version. We had to have a release by a hard date to meet the release of the new iPhone and the new iPhone software. So you have to look at things like that. You have to look at other things that are going on in the business. Is there somebody else in the business that's doing a major software release on the same time period? You have to work around each other to come up with a release plan. So you have to look at all of those things. So that's how you figure out when. And of course you have to look at your own customers and what their needs are, and what do they need and by when do they need it. And by looking at all that, you can come up with a whole release calendar for the year of when are the good times and the needed times for doing releases. So that's how you figure out what dates to release on. And a lot of times in my particular situation, it's one release per month on like the third Friday. That's the slow Friday of the month. So we release at that particular time of the month. But now your sprints, what about them? Well, you can have, so if I release once per month, I could still have 2 sprints per month, each sprint being 2 weeks. But the first 2 weeks sprint, we would just take those items and hold on to them. And then we do the second 2-week sprint. And at the end of that sprint, we have our release, and we bundle the deliverables from the first sprint and the second sprint together and put them out there. So that's how you can work your sprints around your release calendar. So, and that's how you plan your sprints. The timing of a lot of software is projects, the release and the sprint are the same thing. At the end of every sprint, you can go ahead and do a release. But specifically, if you're doing DevOps, then DevOps makes going live a whole lot easier. So you can do a release each sprint. But a lot of organizations don't have DevOps just quite yet. So you have to you have to work around DevOps and have your releases calendars separate from your sprint calendar, but coordinated with each other. Sprint length, a good So what goes into how do you then coordinate the work that you're doing around this release calendar? Is you have to prioritize your stories with your product owner and the customer, etc. Come up with the prioritization of them, and you can then do if you do estimates on your stories. If you have if you're doing story points, you could use story points, etc. Or you could use perfect days, a developer's perfect day, to come up with estimates, and then use your velocity, whatever you've calculated for your velocity for a sprint. How many stories can you get done in an average sprint? Then you use that to figure out, okay, which stories are going to go into which sprints, and then which sprints go into which release calendar, and then you can start communicating with your users about when certain things are likely to be delivered to them, when you're likely to go live with them. So that's how you work. You create your release calendar, your sprint planning, your sprint calendar, I guess you could call it, to figure out what is going to go live and when it's going to go. All right. I hope you found that useful. As for me, I'm going to go, the mosquitoes are bad here, so I'm going to go hose myself down with some DEET and then continue my journey back to civilization. Thank you all very much.